Welcome, family, LBA students. So grateful that you are with us today. We have another session, another podcast for you, and I'm so grateful for today's podcast because I want to introduce you our guest today. She's an alumni from LBI, and she is my wife. So I'm super excited. Don't be that honest, babe. Today,
Yeah, I'll try not to
don't throw my, you know, my dirty clothes out there.
Yeah. Hello, guys.
Yeah. What year
Hi.
did you graduate?
2014.
2014?
Yeah.
You came 2012.
2012. So it was 2 years, yeah.
Yeah. So you and I were here together for one semester,
For one
correct?
semester, yeah.
And so tell me, before we jump into the conversation, what is one of your most memorable
Moments?
moments in your life here in LBI? Whatever it is, funny, good,
Wow.
bad. What is it?
I don't think it's one specific one, but I remember my roommates and I used to like prank each other all the time.
I do remember that.
Yeah, so I think that was really memorable. Even like taking people's mattresses and hiding them.
Yeah.
We were
You
that.
don't want to.
We were those students.
I thought it was like you don't want to give
So it
those
wasn't
ideas,
memorable, but I mean, it's not one specific memory, but
yeah.
all those moments really made. I mean, we got in trouble and stuff, but it was fun.
Yeah, your room was alongside Josh's room. You guys don't know Josh is the creative director here in LBI.
Hey.
Yeah, you guys were the trouble rooms because you guys were give a lot of trouble.
Yeah, we had fun.
Yeah, it was fun. All right, family. So we're gonna jump into this conversation. I know we have a small window of time, but today we want to kind of speak to you, have a conversation along the lines of, what do you do when you don't feel that you fit in perhaps in ministry or in church in the way you supposed to serve. Like a lot of the times, I think in the past years it was built this framework of like, if you sing, if you speak in public, if you play an instrument, this is the way you serve God, this is the way you actually do things, this is the way you fit in the church, right? And I feel like a lot of the times there was a lot of people that were left out because they didn't feel that framework, and it was very complicated, and I feel like it brought shame, guilt in some people, confusion for some others. So today we want to speak to you. Maybe today you feel the same way. You feel like, man, I know that that's kind of like the things that we're supposed to do, but I don't have that. I don't feel alive when I do those things. There's other things that make me feel alive. So yeah, babe, what is your experience with that?
Yeah. So I grew up in church. I've been in church all of my life, and I felt like you said that I never really fit into like the top positions or like the top ministries that people think, oh yeah, this person's called, like this person has a calling in ministry. I didn't sing. Like I tried to, but I don't have the voice for it. Like put me in the backup vocals.
Yes.
I didn't, I'm not really good at speaking in public. It's still something that I struggle with. So it's like I'm not a preacher because like words are not my art. Like it's not my strength. So I wasn't, like this preacher person. So I always struggled where to fit in, because I didn't have those obvious skill sets, and it wasn't part of
And even you were share with me, when you used to go to Walmart or like a store like that one with your brothers, they would go to.
Yeah. Like when I was younger, I was always into like the arts. And like every time I would be able to like go to the store, my parents would take me.
Yeah.
I would always try to buy art supplies, like I don't know, paint, coloring pencils, like anything.
Like if you go to our house, it's like she has a whole closet of that kind of stuff.
I do.
Random
Yeah,
stuff.
like crafts or like things like that.
Yeah.
So that's always what I loved to do, but I always thought of it as a hobby and nothing that could be more than that.
Yes.
So, yeah, I always struggled, and I did children's ministry because I got to color with the kids and I got to do crafts with them because I loved to do arts. So I think that's where like I really found my place, and not because I felt like I was good with kids or I was a good leader, but it was like somewhere where I was able to show them like how to do art and like how to
Now let's
do
take a
stuff like
little
that.
let's take a little bit back to your decision coming to a Bible school.
Yeah.
You before I even choose to come, you were already in the process of coming. Now, not knowing where were you supposed to fit? Why do you choose to come to Bible school then?
So like I said before, I always felt like I wanted to do something for the church. I always felt like I wanted to serve in ministry, like to give a lot of my time to be like an all hands in kind
Yeah.
of volunteer.
Hmm.
So after I graduated from when in my senior year, I decided that I was going to come to LABI because this is a place where a lot of people that I knew were in ministry had come to. So I was like, well, I want to go. I want to get equipped. I want to, learn from the, like the Bible and ministry. So this is where I want to be. So
Yeah.
that's why I decided to come to LABI.
And then being here, you experience also a struggle, right?
Yeah, because again, like, they're building preachers, they were building communicators and worship leaders. And I remember like coming to school and they had worship tryouts.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I just came to watch because I don't
yeah.
do worship, I don't play an instrument. I remember have an oratory class. Like they picked some people to preach
Mm-hmm.
on stage, and I wasn't one of them
Yeah.
because obviously that's not my gift. Like I
Yeah.
stutter all the time. So I was like, man, like it's really hard to like be able to use my gifts in a place that doesn't have a space for them.
Yeah, and then but you fit into the drama team, right?
Oh yeah.
You were
I
good.
mean, it's a type of art.
Right, it's a type of
Yeah.
art. That's where I was too, right? Like
Yeah.
I didn't play anything. I didn't sing. Actually, one time I tried to sing, and
God.
actually the leader just
Uh-oh.
kicked me out. He's like, "Yeah, this is
Mute
not for
his
you.
mic.
Go play soccer." He told
Yeah.
me. But anyways, I feel hurt after that. But doesn't matter. I don't care. I heal from it. But the reality is that many people that come here, I just felt the same way. When I came to LVI, it's not that I knew because I didn't grow up in church, so I
Yeah.
didn't know what was the labels or the structure or what I was supposed to come here. I just came because I wanted to know more about Scripture, more
Yeah.
about God. I wanted to discover what that meant for my life. But I didn't come because I wanted to be a preacher. Even being here, I struggled many times because I remember we had a lot of great communicators in my generation, and to me, I was like, dude, but I mean that's great, and I love that, but I don't feel like that's me, or even the way I dress. They always call me out.
Yeah.
I didn't fit that, and those little things, the way I process things, the way I communicate certain things, they will all put me on trouble, or they will always call me
Yeah.
out for that. So it was always like being here. It's not that you know what you're supposed to
Yeah,
do,
for sure.
right? So if you feel like guilty or ashamed or confused, that's okay. Like, not okay that you feel guilty or ashamed. We want to remove that. But if you feel confused and you don't know what to do, that's fine. That's a good place to be. That's fine.
Yeah. I think that this is a space that like teaches you the basics.
Yes.
And it's also a place where it opens you up to things that you weren't exposed to before coming to LABI.
Yes.
Like whatever you learned at church, in your household, like this place kind of like opens up the doors to other
Yeah.
kind of.
It challenged you.
Yeah, it challenges you, it challenges what you grew up with. So I think that's what it did for me. And this is where I started to grow.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I came to become what I am now.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I think that's true. I think the best gift that I can take from LBI is the character development in my life.
Yeah, for sure.
Besides the giving me the basics of my faith, my character development was a huge part here. Because, man, it broke me, it built me up, it broke me again, and that's fine. I think that I appreciate that now that I
Yeah.
look back. But. So as we keep going, like what helped you find your nature, find the avenue you felt like, okay, I fit here. This is where I'm supposed to do. I feel comfortable. I feel alive when I do this. I feel like I thrive when I do this. What took you to that place?
Yeah. I think being at LABI, I was given different opportunities to work in different places. Like I helped, to organize college days. Like I was part of the team that, did stuff. So all of those kind of gave me skill sets it was like adding to my skill set for the future. So when I was like during my last semester at LABI, I had an interview with a church to become their children's ministry director. I've always volunteered, in children's ministry in church. I had never been paid to work in church. So I was like, this is new. Like, I was so nervous.
You get paid for this? So, like
I
you,
know. I
you
was like,
always like
what?
volunteer?
Yeah. So I was able to, use everything that I had learned here, not just like all the ministry stuff that I picked here, but like all of the skill sets like organization and things like that they taught me. I interviewed for the position and I got it. And being in children's ministry, I was able to use my creative side. Like, kids are like visual, so I was able to do like a bunch of arts and things like that I loved.
Yeah.
That also exposed me to more things.
Yeah.
So like I realized that like I had a passion for like graphic design.
Yeah.
It's being in that church, serving my local community.
Yeah.
Something that I didn't know I had before. So like little by little, as I was serving and being,
And trying things. 'Cause
trying
I
things.
think that's what I hear from
Yeah.
actually doing different things, right? Like say, I serve here, I serve in other places. I got invited doing this, and some things you love this,
Yeah.
some things you were like, this is not for me. So that kind of give you a hint, like, okay, this is where I'm good at. And then you were arriving to a place where you feel comfortable, like, okay, I feel comfortable doing this, which is kids. And,
Yeah, for sure.
You blew that space up.
Yeah, it was something that I loved to do, and when you love to do something, you put all of you into it. So whenever you find what it is, then you create something.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting because serving in church, I didn't think that children's ministry was going to be like it,
Yeah.
like it for me. But then like when I was serving at, working at the church that I was working at, I was like, wow, like I can make a career out of this, like children's ministry. Who knew? But it's just amazing that like God didn't stop there. Because if it were for me, I would have just ended my life like working there. Like children's ministry. Like this is my comfort zone. Like I can use everything that I love in one place. But God, had other plans and continued to grow me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that you say something very important. You kind of like when you find something, you feel alive. Jordan Peterson says that psychologists say that when you actually find what you love and enjoy, it increases your sense of responsibility. That when you're actually doing something that you love, you appreciate, you protect, you care, you invest in that more than anything than when you don't. So I think that that's a huge part, because some of us are doing things that we don't like to do. That's what we're sometimes indifferent about those things. But when we find something that we love and enjoy, that increases the sense of responsibility in us, which I feel that that's what happened for you.
Yeah.
Not that you were responsible with other things, but I feel like that's what I saw in you, because you literally have the opportunity to rebuild the structure and physically you built literally a whole like different spaces.
Yeah, we got the opportunity to create a new space for
the
children's.
kids.
Yeah, kids
You had
ministry.
like what, like 100 kids every Sunday or something like
Yeah.
that.
Like a little, like over 100, and then like 20 volunteers.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
remember Easter was like nuts. It was
Yeah,
crazy.
it was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like kids, and I was serving.
I
Like
know.
sometimes she would take me there. It was
Yeah.
crazy, but it was amazing. Like I remember, and excuse me for staying in this topic, but I remember one time I was in the back, and then you would play a song, particular
Yeah.
Planet Shaker song, all the time. But I mean, I think it was very intentional because they remember that
Yeah.
song. And I remember one day, and I saw like I don't know, like 60 kids screaming and shouting and jumping and literally singing the song.
Yeah.
And I remember I was like, oh my gosh, I never seen this before in my life.
Oh, you're gonna make me cry.
I know. I remember
my
that.
kids.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Babe, yeah, that was a huge thing because you did that with the kids.
Yeah.
Not everybody can do that. So that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like you finally you arrived to that place. Now, obviously, God took you to
Yeah.
a different process. Now,
Yeah.
He called you to a different different aspects of your life. You're like
Yeah.
you could have died doing kids your
Yeah,
whole
for
life.
sure.
But then you jump into something else.
Yeah. Well, I think that I definitely feel like I was able to do something that like pretty successful, like not trying to, I don't know how
Yeah.
to say that, like toot my own horn or whatever.
Yeah.
But like I
No.
think I did a really good job making that kids ministry what it was. But I don't think that we have to stop there. Like whenever
No.
we've reached success, like we don't stop there.
Yeah.
Like now, it's always good to go somewhere else
Yeah.
and like start learning like that skill set and like or be in that environment and start somewhere new so that you can grow.
Yeah.
Because if I were to stay in kids ministry, I wouldn't have grown.
Yeah.
I would have just limited myself to that area.
Yeah.
So yeah, like when we planted our church, that was definitely something new to me because I was comfortable talking to kids and not
Yeah.
to adults. Like
Yeah.
kids are so much easier than adults. So I think that, me, allowing God to push me into different areas definitely helped me grow. And I think that's something that
Yeah.
we definitely, I encourage everybody to do.
Yeah. Now, taking it a little bit to the side of like, what was those steps that you took, or what helped you like finding your niche? Like, besides like you said that you were like serving different places that kind of help you
Yeah.
understand. Okay, I like this, I don't like that. You took advantage of everything and you learned from everything. What else do you feel like it was important for you to understand and see? Okay, this I can find what I.
Yeah, I think for me, um, I knew like, I had ideas. I loved the arts. I always go back to that because that's something that's it's a part of me. And I remember that I would use it for ministry, but I didn't want to leave it just in ministry. So like I've started to identify myself as a creative because I liked to, create
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
regardless of what it is. So I came to a place where I understood that that's who I was, and I didn't want to just limit myself to just doing it in church or in ministry or as a hobby.
yeah,
I actually wanted to do something with it, and that's something that I'm working on. Still, it's really difficult. People who are creatives like struggle with a lot of things, comparison,
yeah,
like
yeah,
all of these things, but once I was able to like identify that, then I was able to like really be comfortable with who I was and not just use it for ministry, but also like, use it in other areas, like for my personal growth as an individual, as a human being. Because I do feel like, God gave me this to use in all areas of my life.
yeah.
So, yeah, I think some of the steps that I took was one, like like learning who I was, my identity.
Which is a big one.
Yeah, it's huge. Like learning because once I knew who I was, then I could move on and continue to do, what I was called to do.
Yeah, I think that's a big one because if like when you enter into a relationship with God and you actually explore who God is and start knowing him, you start knowing yourself. He wants you to know yourself. He
Yeah.
wants you to know who you are, your strengths, your weaknesses, your inconsistencies, your patterns, and so on. And I think that's something that sometimes we don't have conversations about that.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was looking for a verse because I think one of the most important moments for me to understand this about identity was when Jesus is getting baptized, and when he's getting baptized, what happens is that he comes out of the water and then the skies open, and God the Father speaks over Jesus these words. He was like, "You are my son, the chosen and marked by my love, pride of my life." Jesus hasn't done like a miracle. He
Yeah.
hasn't done anything yet, and he's loved and marked, and this in him he finds delight, right?
Yeah.
And I think like for us, if we want to find what we do good, we have to understand first who we are.
Yeah, for sure.
That we're not defined by what we do and what we make.
Yeah.
We're defined by who he calls us.
Yeah.
That we are his sons
And there's
daughters.
so many sorts of ways to do that. Like obviously one is talking to God,
Of course.
praying, spending time with him so that you can learn who you are. But another one is like help, like, community people, like
Community is another one.
something that I have been doing since being at LABI
Yeah.
was going to counseling.
Yeah.
Like speaking with someone about, all of the intricacies of my inner being
Yeah.
and helping somebody, like having somebody help me, like, what are my goals? Like I also had a life coach.
Yep.
So like all of those things add to like helping you identify who you are, what God created you to be.
Yeah, I do believe that. I feel like, counseling was a big thing for both of us, someone to bring perspective, someone to help us heal, someone to call us out and keep
Yeah.
us accountable for things. That was a huge thing. And, and,
Yeah.
and it's not like it's God in counseling. It's like, no, God works through the
Yeah,
counseling
for
session. And
sure.
we have a great counselor
Yeah.
that can, man,
Yeah.
she can handle you.
Yeah.
Right, but also the other piece of it, what I believe it helps you, as finding your niche is like community. You said it,
Yeah.
like if you find a group of people that you identify with, like you're not alone. You're not the
Yeah.
only one feeling this
Yeah.
way.
And you don't need to be alone. Like, you don't need to be the
Yes.
one that came up with this idea, or
Yes.
like
You're not the yes.
you're
You're not
not the
the
best at everything. Like, there's people
yes.
better than you, and like, just surround yourself with them.
Completely. I feel like that's a huge thing, like when you find a community of people, you're like, I identify with you. You have the same passion, the same desire, and I identify with you. I think that's a huge part because it doesn't make you feel alone.
Yeah.
And then it feels you like, if it makes you feel like, oh, encouraged to actually,
Yeah.
do something.
It's always good. I mean, it feels nice to be like the best at something. Like, if you're in a group of friends and like, oh, I'm the best person in this area, but like, you're not going to grow in that circle.
Yeah.
Like, if you put yourself in a circle where you're literally learning from everyone around you, like, you're going to grow. And you just have to continue putting yourself in those environments, because that's how I was able to grow, I feel,
Yeah.
because I intentionally did that.
I agree. I feel like being around people that are better than me, that I'm not the biggest fish in the pond, like that make me. For some people, they get intimidated. For me, it makes me want to grow and, like, and invest more in my craft and grow in who I am. And I think that that's a huge thing. You obviously, community is a huge thing because, for you, for I, we find also a group of people, a church that also would do things like that.
Yeah.
And that inspire us a lot. We were like, oh, like we thought about that.
Yeah.
We didn't know we could do that,
Yeah.
like, so I feel like finding that there is, a place for us. There's a place where we can fit.
Yeah.
And I think that's very important
Yeah.
to know. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
S-
Definitely community. Like, surround yourself with people who are doing something that you want to do, in every aspect of your life. Like, if you're married, like in marriage, or if that's something that you want to do, like, surround yourself with healthy singles, or like, if you want to be an entrepreneur, like with entrepreneurs,
Yeah.
like, whatever area in your life, like, just surround yourself with those people.
That's good. So when you feel that you don't fit,
That's
try these
good.
things, that's
Yeah.
okay. Try things, serve,
Yeah.
serve,
Yeah.
take advantage of every opportunity.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it is, and you're gonna find, oh, I don't like this, I like this, I feel alive doing this, I feel like I'm dying doing this.
Yeah.
Just also identity, like you need to
Yeah.
invest in your relationship with God to know Him and know yourself, and
Yeah.
that can be in different ways.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to look like what somebody else's relationship with God looks
Yes.
like mine and your relationship with God, how we spend time like growing and like reading our word and like meditating in the word, like, it looks completely different.
True.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
That's something that I had to like learn too.
That's true.
Because I always compared myself to you, and I was like, I don't pray like him, or I don't read my Bible like him, but it's okay. Like, we're in different,
Yeah, I love the way
lanes,
you
yeah.
do it, babe. Just an extra thought, like you use the way you get triggered is that you start drawing stuff. You
Yeah.
draw what you feel like has been spoken to you,
Yeah.
and you start drawing things. So you're a very visual person.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, like that. I didn't know you can do that. That's how you write your devotional, but that's amazing. That's how
Yeah.
you write your stuff.
Yeah.
And in the last one, community. That's a huge thing. Find a group of people that you feel connected. That you feel like they have the same desires, the same perhaps goals. And also being around people that don't
Yeah.
look like you. That also
Yeah.
is great. But
Yes.
that's amazing. Babe. Any last
Yeah.
thoughts that you want to share with the students?
Just always remain teachable. Like, don't ever
Yes.
think that you know everything, or
So
that you've
good.
arrived.
Yeah.
Always have an open heart and open mind for learning new things,
Love that.
because that's going to take you far.
I love that. I'm not gonna add anything else to that.
Yeah.
We love you, family. We hope that you
Yes.
you could you enjoy this conversation, that you can get some stuff from here for your own life, your practical life. Baby, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, thank
I
you.
enjoy having
Thanks,
you with
guys.
us, and we see you soon.
Yeah, bye.